Y'all, when was it such a bad thing to have the guy save the day? I mean, look, the guy's expected to take the girls out on dates. He's expected to cater to them. He's expected to drop everything on a dime to pick her up and drop her off wherever she's going. But yet we can't get any respect in the land of fairy tales and Netflix anymore. Come on. Come on now. At least make it realistic a little bit if we gonna do the medieval thing. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to tune in for some more videos and recaps. We going over the new Netflix film, Damsel. Damsel is starring Millie Bobby Brown as Princess Elodie. She's from Stranger Things. If you ain't seen it, I'm not a Stranger Things type of dude. I didn't really watch it, but I heard it was. I know it's a quality show. I know it's a quality show. It stars Angela. Well, I ain't gonna say stars. It just stars Millie Bobby Brown. If I'm gonna be honest, she's in every single scene in this movie essentially, and she's in 90% of the movie. I mean, everyone else is pretty much a side character at that. They got some big names. I mean, Angela Bassett. When I saw her, I was like, okay, they got some brothers and sisters up in this movie, but she's basically the only one except for a few extras. They take the brother and fling him, give him the worst death in the whole movie. You know, the dragon grabs him and completely tortures him and then stomps him out. We got Nick Robinson, Prince Henry. He was in. What was he in? He was in Love Simon. That's what it was. He was in Love Simon. Didn't watch that either. Robin Wright, who was Queen Isabel. She's known for Forrest Gump. Um, way back in the day. If you ain't seen Forrest Gump, check it out. It's a classic. So she's been in the game for a minute. House of Cards, The Princess Bride, Adore, Wonder Woman. And then, Angela Bassett, like I said, say less of what she hasn't been in. Black Panther, What's Love Got to Do with the Tina Turner, uh, How Stella Got a Grew Back, a whole nine. Angela Bassett's, I was excited to see her in this, but they didn't do her due diligence and justice and whatnot. And then you got a few, the rest of the actors are pretty much just there. I mean, you got the dragon's voice, who's played by, I don't know who plays the dragon's voice, but I know it's played by somebody. I can't find it. But anyways, y'all, yes, the movie has some names in it. More so, it's just Millie Bobby Brown and Angela Bassett and Robin Wright, who are like the big headliners, and everyone else is kind of just essentially there. I turned on this movie. I wasn't knowing, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't hear about the movie. I didn't hear about no promotion of this movie. I just said, oh, this movie's #1 on Netflix. Let me check it out. I went in there with an open mind before reading any reviews, before checking out anything that's going on. And yeah, I was intrigued at first because, it was taking place back in medieval, Lord of the Rings times, essentially. Something like that, with Dungeons and Dragons. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I grew up playing the games. And it starts out, with the plot of Princess Elodie's family, or soon to be princess. She ain't princess yet. Elodie's family leaving, and they're broke as hell. And she gets invited to this castle, and she's to be wed off. She's not too happy about it, but she knows she gotta sell her soul for the family. Typical tale, seen it before, but this one I thought it was a twist. I was looking for the twist because it's 2024. You never know what you're gonna find. The whole movie, it's very meh. The plot is, she's running most of the movie away from this dragon. The dragon is lit though. Like CGI of the dragon is perfect. Um, I mean, I was scared of it. I was like, oh snap, and the dragon's overtaken. It's a sad story. The dragon's kids get stomped out in the schoolyard by the medieval king and his men because they're afraid the dragons will grow up and destroy them all when they could have just been minding their business and everyone would have been nice and happy, but they wanted to interfere and kill the only three children of the dragon, and that was the last of her line. So after that, there's no more dragons. So maybe they did a good thing in their eyes, but in the dragon's eyes, you're killing off an endangered species. I don't think, we ain't flying for that in 2024, coach, or 23. But yeah, the dragon's pissed off, and she gonna get her revenge by taking out these princesses. Now, there's a few plot holes in this, which we'll get to, but that's basically the general consensus in the plot, how it sets, and yeah, we'll get to the rest from there. But initial reaction, I didn't mind the beginning. It was all right. I got to see Angela Bassett. I was like, okay, we gonna get some brothers and sisters up in here. I was expecting a brother Prince because I thought she was the mother, and she's the only sister in the show. They didn't do her justice. They didn't give her enough lines in this movie. She's just kind of there playing another damsel in distress, essentially, the queen in distress. She just getting blown by the wayside and panicking the whole movie. So this movie does not do her justice. And if you've seen her for the first time, check out her other films. She a boss in those. And this, she looking like a peasant. Um, but yeah, it gets started, and initially there's this scene where she's in the castle, Elodie, and she looks out and sees another princess in another tower, and she looks at her real like real seductive like, and I'm like, is this a love story? I thought it was a lesbian love story at first. I was like, oh, she liked the other princess, so it's gonna turn into something like that. That's literally what I thought in my head. Um, but yeah, I thought it was gonna be a twist in that instance, and so when she goes to bed and whatnot, and wakes up, she does see the prince, and it's the actor Prince Henry. Well, the actor, his name is Prince Henry, but the actor's name is Nick Robinson, who I've never heard of. I did not watch Love Simon, like I said, and I was like, oh, my hopes got down because I thought it was gonna be a brother Prince. I thought y'all trying to be inclusive here. I guess only one sister can make the cuts in this movie, and it's one of the best black actresses of all time, in Angela Bassett. But yeah, she was basically the only sister up in there. She's the stepmother, so I don't know what went down with the real mother. And if I missed that part, I need to go back and look. But the real mother ain't there. Um, and yeah, so she eventually gets married off, and it's supposed to be a serious movie, but there was the fun. This is probably the funniest part of the movie is when she, when the prince picks her up. He's like, "I'm gonna carry you back to the castle, and we gonna get it cracking." And so I was laughing because when he picked her up, and then he's like, "Sorry," and then just tossed her over into the ravine. Y'all, I was crying. I was like, "Is this a comedy?" It's just the way it's set up. It looks like it was just funny. I mean, I wasn't like, it was just like, damn, that's jacked up, bruh. That's how you treating her? Because I didn't know what was going on. You don't know what's going on at this point. You just threw her in there. But before they did it, they cut their hands and they like palmed, and that should have been a first red light. I'm like, what y'all doing these rituals up, blood rituals up in here, this Illuminati stuff. But yeah, when she gets thrown into the ravine, or I don't even know, pit, ravine, whatever it is, the dragon's cave. She gets confronted by the dragon, and apparently, they're throwing all the princesses down there by trying to give them sacrifices to even the score for the dragon. But what didn't make sense was, so when she's down there running for her life from this dragon, she gets like a flashback or something about the other. She sees like writings on the walls, and it's from the previous princesses there. But they said they only needed 3 sacrifices, but there was literally like maybe 8 to 9 princesses. So I was confused on that part, and they all died. So was it 3? I thought it was only 3, but it was more. I don't know if the dragon didn't accept those ones or what, but that's what I was confused about. And yeah, who knew this princess was Laura Croft esque, slash Carmen San Diego slash, had all these abilities and had all this strength. I mean, this was not in the plot setup. I didn't see her practicing sword fighting growing up. I didn't see her practicing, her forgery skills and her swordsmanship skills, anything. She just has like the gift of automatically being able to fight and withhold all this, go through this pain and hell. It was just kind of just like, whoa, like, okay. She comes across these blue beads, and I thought the blue bugs, I thought they were gonna give her powers. I was like, okay, she's gonna get some powers because that's the only way you're gonna defeat this dragon. Like, this girl is not gonna defeat this dragon by just herself. Like, come on now, let's be real. I mean, it's a fairy tale movie essentially, but no powers. They should have gave her some powers with the blue things. I thought she was gonna eat them because the thing is, they gave her Wolverine abilities by the recovery. You know, when she put the blue bugs on her body, it was recovering her body. And I was like, oh, okay. So she just eats them. She'll kind of be like invincible per se. But she never ate them. So I was confused on that. She should have ate the bugs. But that would have been a nice plot twist. I mean, give her some powers because there's no way she's defeating this dragon by just the sheer will of things. I mean, this dragon just blows fire and everyone's dead. And she gets away again and again and again. She's swifter than all these other people who face this dragon. I don't know what makes her so different and special. There should have been something that like led up to it, like, oh, she's been training her whole life and she's she's been a hyperbolic time chamber working that thing out. But apparently she just got it like that out of nowhere. I don't know. Um, Interesting, but didn't really make sense. There was no kind of just bring up. I know it's a movie and it's a short one. And they might not have time for all that, but they spent a lot of money on this movie. 20 million, I think 60 million on this movie. If they had $60 million, they had time to put the plot up a little bit more and just saying, okay, you got special fighting abilities, you real strong and courageous and all these things. I'm just like, okay, I thought you were a princess. That don't seem like the princess, but I guess you're trying to make the princess the hero and the damsel all in the same time. You know, it didn't really make sense to a brother. But why is the movie called Damsel if you ain't in distress? Are you trying to make a play on the movie words or whatnot? It didn't really, the title didn't make sense because it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. But she don't have no powers. She got the recovery powers from the blue bugs. And so she gets out and she finally gets out and the dragon's like, you know, govern her from all sides. Like it can't kill her. It's trying the best. Another silly part was when her father comes in the cave and looking for her and he's like, I know she's alive. I'm like, bruh, you think she alive? Did you train her or something like that? Like Goku? Was she on Master Roshi's island and had all these abilities and you knew this, but you went in after her? I was like, okay. Like he just went in knowing there was a dragon. I'm like, bruh, what kind of plan was this? He had no plan. He just went in there. Like that didn't make any sense. You got to go in there with a plan. But anywho, he goes in there, gets stomped out by the dragon, and she's hot. So when her father's in there calling for her, he's like, you come to me. I'm like, you really think she gonna come to you when a dragon's sitting right there, bruh? Like that was your plea? I thought it was gonna be like, oh, dude, we'll make a deal with the dragon. Like the dragon wasn't making no deals or anything like that. It was gonna kill the father and the daughter if she came out. So what was the point of calling her out? Why would you sacrifice your own daughter so you could live? That made no sense to me. Thought this father was just gonna sell out his daughter like that. It was it just didn't make sense. There was no benefit of him doing that. Like just kill me, which he did eventually sacrifice himself, but he called his daughter a few times first, and she's hiding right around the corner. This dragon got senses, really good senses at sometimes because it can hear hundreds and hundreds of feet away, but Elodie's creeping around 2 feet away from this dragon and it can't hear her. Doesn't make sense. Again. But yes, this father gets stomped out eventually. And she's like, she gets her Laura Croft on, like I said, and goes she man and gathers her belongings, gets war ready. Because once she gets out of there, they take her sister and make, Angela Bassett look like a punk again for no reason. Um, but yeah, they take her little sister, and now they throw her in the whole ravine, and now her sister's endangered, and the dragon's like, "Look, I'm gonna kill you and your sister." And so I was like, "Okay, this dragon ain't playing no games. I'm with the dragon. I'm with the dragon. Like I'm on the dragon's team. Forget these people." And she finally confronts the dragon and she's like, it wasn't me. She like, it was your people, it was humans. She's like, but it wasn't my people. I was like, the dragon can't tell who is who and who's part of what village. How's the dragon supposed to know that, girl? She just knows it was humans. So what you mean it wasn't your people? Now I get what she's trying to do. She's trying to be like, look, there's different tribes and peoples and whatnot, and it wasn't my tribe. But y'all white people, how's the dragon supposed to tell different? Now if it was a black tribe and a white tribe, okay, I get it. But y'all the whole convincing of the dragon, like, I get she had no other choice, but the dragon ain't gonna know. And I don't know why the dragon was sitting talking. It should have just, took care of business. But they should have gave the girl powers or something to make this a little more of an eventful fight. The fight was so goofy because I don't like when the fights are like obvious that who should win, but then the underdog just magically wins somehow because they. It's like Harry Potter fighting the snake in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That snake is doing the most to everybody else. Just kills people throughout the movie. But when it comes to Harry Potter, it's just moving slow as molasses and letting him do whatever he wants. He's flailing the sword like he ain't never lifted it before and then somehow strikes it. I was like, come on now. Y'all could have gave Harry a spell to use. Same thing with this girl. She gets the dragon by saying, Dragon, blow fire. She stabs it in his eye, which the dragon should have killed it right then and there. I don't know how it did it. And then she stands in this like curved wall, curved ledge thing, and then the dragon blows fire, and then it goes right back to the dragon. The dragon that stupid now. The dragon's that stupid. But the dragon was smart enough to know where you were at in this whole cave the entire time, cutting you off at every turn. But it falls for that easy, simple, basic maneuver. Come on now, y'all. Like, give the girl some powers. That would have solved a lot of issues with this movie with me. The bugs had powers, rejuvenation powers, which came out of nowhere. Like it literally was just random as hell. Didn't serve any like purpose or any storyline or anything. And the dragon should know these bugs do that because it's living in this cave for God knows how long. And it never notices these bugs have rejuvenation. So this dragon's just aloof to that. But it's clever enough to like kill all these other people that came in there. And then the dragon's in the cave, but it could have destroyed the castle the whole time. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, she gets the dragon. She basically kills it nearly, and but then she puts the bugs on it to rejuvenate its health, and she gonna get back at the castle and get that lick back at the queen and her whole family. So they get back to the castle. She comes out, and the dragon comes out and blows everyone to smithereens essentially, and ends that little tale. But why didn't the dragon just do that in the first place? The dragon could leave the castle and everyone. It made it seem like the dragon was stuck in this castle. Why wouldn't the dragon, as soon as the babies were killed, just go destroy everything instead of waiting to just kill these three girls? That makes no sense. What that didn't make any sense. There was a lot of not making sense in this movie, y'all. I'm trying to just like, it's a movie, so I'm taking it for what it is. But it just, why would the dragon just leave once it can't capture this one girl instead of just destroy everyone immediately when the babies died? What was stopping it? A force field? There should have been something. This movie lacked magic. It lacked magic. It had one magic effect, and that was the bugs. But other than that, that was it. A fire breathing dragon. I'm like, I'm watching Shrek all over again. Except the dragon isn't falling in love with donkeys. It's falling in love with the girl essentially, and it's part of the girl's family after it blows up the other family, and they go off happily ever after. That's the movie, y'all. Look, a lot of plot holes. Needed to rework the script a little bit. A lot actually. Just add some magic. Give a little more backstory with the girl about how she had these fighting abilities and whatnot, and how she knew how to just basically play survivor in this movie by taking off her dress and making like not shoes but like things to use to cover her feet up. Basically, she knew all the. She was a Boy Scout in this whole movie, and it was just like, where did it come from, you know? But yeah, that didn't make any sense. The dragon, how it didn't destroy everyone off the rip, didn't make any sense. The family just look, y'all, it just didn't make a lot of sense. I will say the CGI was cool. Millie Bobby Brown, I mean, look, I saw a little bit of Stranger Things. She's a good actress. She did her best with what she was given, but everyone else wasn't given anything. So I don't like movies that's just centered around one sole person. There's no other stories to be told. I mean, the dragon story was told, but it's a dragon. Everyone else was kind of just there. And I like substance and layers. There was not much layering in this movie at all. It was just bleh. Like, why was the dragon? Why couldn't the dragon have more kids? Where was the other dragon? It had to have kids from somehow. What happened to the other dragon that got her pregnant? It's just no explanation for anything. And the ending was just like they sailed off into the sunset at the dragon by its side. Why would y'all leave the cave that got the recovery bugs? Did you go back and get the look? I'm looking too deep, but plot trash, The settings, medieval. I don't hate the medieval stuff, but do they always have to talk in a British accent for the medieval stuff? I want to see a medieval film talk like regular, like people not having accents. Just to change up. That would be nice. Casting, all right. Um, the storyline, it just lacked a lot. It lacked a lot of flow, lacked a lot of making sense. Half the dialogue was just her screaming and panting and grunting. So there wasn't much explanation for anything. The flashbacks were silence, no words being spoken. How would they know where the baby dragons are? How the hell? Why would the mom leave the baby dragons alone at that? Would they get killed? It just doesn't make sense. But y'all, yeah, that's my critique and review of the movie Damsel. I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt a lot. I accepted it for what it was, and I liked the effects. But looking back on it, it was just really lackluster, and I don't know how this movie's number one. Probably because the cast. I didn't hear any promotion of it, and I don't think it's gonna be number one for too much longer. But yeah, y'all, that's my review on the movie Damsel. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out the movie. You can be your own judge on it, and leave your own comments. See what you think about it. But yeah, y'all, appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the DeAndre Way. Till next time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace and blessings.